So this is the Combat Station. I'm your host, Ty Matthews, and today we have a special guest on, Victor Henry. So let's start off with how you doing, mate?
What's up, man? I'm just chilling, man. Where are you guys from?
Yeah, I'm UK in it.
Oh, you're in UK. All right. I never fucking been there, so hopefully one day. Hopefully one day.
So let's get right on this. So how's the camp been going for you so far, leading up to the fight? Because
I
obviously the fight
mean,
got rescheduled.
yeah. Well, this time I get a little camp. Last time I didn't really have a camp. I was actually sitting down having a bunch of barbecue when the fight. Well, they when they gave me the call for the fight, so didn't have a camp the first time, but this time I got a 2 week camp almost. Well, a camp and then plus the week to cut. So it's going well. I mean, as well as any 2 week camp can go. So we're gonna go out there. We're gonna try to surprise the world.
Now, obviously the fight was meant to happen on the Derek Lewis card, the last card before the end of the year, and now it's been moved all the way to the Nagano pay-per-view. Did
Hmm.
you feel you were ready stepping in against on the Derek Lewis card? And do you feel it was like now with an extra camp you're going to be better?
Well, I felt ready then, and I just feel more ready now. I mean, I pretty much stay in the gym and I train all the time, anyways. So it wasn't outside of the possibility of just getting a fight short notice, anyways. So I made sure that I was still training, still doing my thing. Like I said, just now the only thing is different is I get a couple weeks of preparation.
About this matchup, what problems do you see Ryoni bringing you, and what do you think you can bring to him that will get you the win?
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Hani, I mean, he's a very physical person. Obviously, he's fought at higher weights before. He's got strong hips, so his takedown defense is going to be great. He's got great boxing skills, and those are definitely things anybody's got to worry about. Anybody in the UFC has to worry about. Um, as far as what I bring to the table, I think that my experience, my my pace, and I think a lot of people are underestimating my striking and my grappling skills. So, I mean, as far as boxing goes, I think I can match him. Probably not with power, but with technique and being slick and having my conditioning be better than his is definitely going to play a factor for me. Um, if it does go to the ground, I think I have better submissions in him.
Now, you're obviously 34, so I was going to ask, did you expect this call to happen? Because obviously you're on a big win streak, and then it
Mhm.
got broken. You got another win. Did you expect to be called to the UFC at this point?
And the UFC and I, it's always been kind of like, well, when's the call? When's the call? I've said it before, and I'll say it again, man. The goal was never one organization. I think a lot of people make the mistake of they make the organization the goal, and then what happens when you get there? You just stop training as hard, or you stop your your goals become different. Like no, like my goal has always been I want to be the best that I could be, no matter who I fight for, whether it be Ryzen, RCC over in Russia, or anywhere across the world that I fought. So as far as getting the call to the UFC, I mean that's great. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a whole new set of fighters. It's it's a martial artist's dream, obviously, to go out and travel the world and fight the best and be among the best and to be considered one of the best.
Now, in this fight, what is your prediction? Do you believe you'll be able to get a finish in the fight, or do you believe it'll be lean more towards a decision?
The finish is always the goal, and the way I see it is, if it goes to a decision, it's because I didn't do my job right.
With Ryoni, he's right outside the top 15. He's a top 20 bantamweight. Where do you think this win will put you in the division if you're able to get it?
Hopefully top 15. There's some guys in there that I would really like to get in there with. Like I said, no matter what UFC decides on who they want me to fight, it just so happens that Hamani is going to be a very tough matchup for me off the bat. Of course, and he said he's top 20 for sure. Hopefully with this win, it skyrockets me into, bigger paydays, bigger fights, and hopefully one day a pay-per-view. Right now we're going to be fighting on a pay-per-view card, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be fighting on the undercard. But you know, like I said, anyone the UFC puts me up against, I'm going to be down with. Um, It doesn't necessarily mean I always want to fight, lower guys or higher guys. Just put me in there and have me fight. That's what I wanted to do. And rankings never really mattered to me. Always just get in the fight.
Now, you're lined as I think a big underdog in this fight. Why do you believe the like obviously you don't, but with that, what would you say to people that are counting you out in this fight?
Well, it's the way I see it is this. There are people who are MMA fans who watch MMA around the world. And then there are people who consider themselves MMA analysts who only watch the UFC. And they look at Twitter and they see who's kind of trending everywhere else. So I mean, for me, for instance, I have 26 fights. He has 18 fights. I have more losses than him, but probably because I have more fights than him. To those people, I would say become more professional at your job. Of course, everybody's an MMA analyst or MMA this or MMA that, but all they is the UFC. That's the only people they care about. It's like, okay, here I am, 26 fights, around the world, and what, I haven't done anything with myself. What do you think I was doing? Fighting these cheese balls? No, I wasn't fighting turkeys. I was fighting hardcore people. Haoni himself was fighting hardcore people, and he had to work through the rankings of the UFC in order to get to where he's at. So he deserves to be where he's at, of course. But to those people who consistently count me out, they've been doing it for a long time, man. It ain't nothing new to me. I'm just gonna go in there and prove them wrong again.
Now, the fight, as I mentioned earlier, was meant to happen on the upcoming card for next week. Is there any reason it got moved to the pay-per-view?
So everybody was talking about January 15th. My management team, Haoni, we never heard anything about that. I'm assuming that was just somebody said something and everybody just started going off with any actual validation from the UFC. You gotta kind of learn how to mute those voices in your own head, because you can drive yourself crazy. So when is this fight gonna happen? No, you get down and it'll happen when it happens. So I don't know why the UFC. I mean, I have a good idea, but it's unfounded. But this is when they decided to reschedule it for, and that's just the way it is.
Obviously, you're a veteran, but are you excited to be fighting on the same card as the heavyweight world champion, unification fight, and all the other fights on the card? Are you excited for the experience?
Man, I'm excited just to be fighting. People, events change, different pay-per-views change, main events change. You got to remember why you always got into this. It wasn't to be a part of a card. It's to be in there yourself. It's not about who is there as long as you're there. So I'm excited just to be able to fight, and especially with this guy who's so highly ranked.
What is your prediction for the main event, Ngannou versus Gane?
Yes. Ugh. Well, I'm taking Ngannou. I mean, after what I've seen him do to people's heads with his fists, it's just that's just as amazing. And I hope that I hope he gets this finish, and maybe we could see a Derek Lewis rematch this time, not so boring.
I would love that as well. And the co-main event is Brandon Moreno versus Davison Free. Now, who'd you have for the trilogy fight?
I'm taking Brandon Moreno. I think he's got more ways to win, of course. But also just his road to that belt has been very inspirational to a lot of people. And I think that I think him winning will do those people a big honor.
And coming up the week after is, well, not a week after, there's another pay-per-view coming up, Adesanya versus Whitaker too. Who's having that fight? Because that is a much anticipated rematch.
I gotta go Adesanya on that one. He's his movement, his striking, and his ability to slip while keeping his feet planted right there and move his head in between strikes. I think that's going to be I think it's going to play a huge factor, especially with Whitaker's more karate style. With his strikes, I think Adesanya will be able to pick that up, and I think that it's going to get finished with the knee to the body. But that's just me.
Yeah, that's at least you're Pacific with it.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned Derek Lewis. I just have to ask. He's fighting Taito Viscia on the card. They've just booked him.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite I feel very good. That's number one contender fight, maybe. Who do you have for that?
I got Derek Lewis. You can never count that man out. I mean, even when he was being pinned down to the ground, he just got up. What kind of strength? Derek Lewis, he's a cool guy. I met him over at the PI, and I think his knockout ability, and not to mention, I think he's been getting more serious about his strength and conditioning because he's physically looking different.
Who is your favorite fighter to watch right now in the UFC?
My favorite fighter to watch in the UFC. Well, right now, I really don't have any favorites to watch right now, but who would be my old favorite? I ain't got no favorites right now.
It's all right, mate. Now, let's just end this off here. Throughout this year, where do you see yourself at the end of the year? And do you want to stay active?
Absolutely, man. I'd like to get, seeing how January, we're here already, I'd like to get 4 fights this year. I want to be able to stay healthy and there and get, the way I see it, I got 1 or 2 runs towards that belt. So if I can get 4 fights this year, that'd be awesome for me, man.
Well, mate, with this win, the world is your oyster, and hopefully you can make a run forward. So, we're gonna probably wrap up here. But any word you want to say to your fans? Anything you want to say?
Catch me on January 22nd, and it's gonna be a great card. Y'all gonna see some. Y'all gonna see some shit. Y'all gonna see some shit.
Well, mate, it's been good having you on here. Thank you for your time.
No problem, buddy.
This has been the Combat Station. This is Victor Henry, and we are out.